The massive alien warship emerged from hyperspace, its metallic hull gleaming with an ominous silver-blue light against the darkness of Earth's orbital region. Captain Do-Sung Park stood motionless on the command deck, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching vessel. Tactical Officer Boram Kang's fingers moved rapidly across the console, her breath steady despite the tension filling the room. Earth's defense systems were minimal compared to the technological marvel that now dominated their visual field. The alien ship was easily 10 times the size of humanity's largest space station, with intricate energy patterns pulsing along its exterior. "Incoming transmission," announced a young communications specialist, her voice slightly trembling. The holographic screen flickered, revealing a creature unlike anything humans had seen before. It had multiple eyes, perhaps 6 or 7, arranged in a symmetrical pattern across what could generously be called a head. Translucent skin revealed complex internal structures, and tendrils that might serve as communication appendages moved, with precise calculated movements. "Humans of Earth," the alien's voice translated through advanced communication systems. "Your planetary civilization has been selected for mandatory integration. Resistance is mathematically improbable. Surrender is the most logical course of action." Do-Sung remained completely still. Years of military training had prepared him for this moment. He understood that showing any sign of fear or weakness could potentially trigger an immediate aggressive response. Behind him, Science Officer Yura Kim was quietly running complex calculations. Her computer screens showed multiple potential scenarios, each more complex than the last. She had spent months preparing contingency plans, studying the limited intelligence they had gathered about potential alien invasion strategies. The alien vessel began positioning itself, massive weapon systems, gradually powering up. Energy signatures suggested capabilities far beyond anything in human technological understanding. Pulse cannons capable of destroying entire cities with a single shot. Quantum disruptors that could theoretically tear molecular structures apart. What the aliens didn't know was that humanity had been preparing, not with advanced weapons, not with massive military technologies, but with something far more unexpected. Boram's monitoring systems began tracking the alien ship's movements. Each rotation, each subtle shift in positioning was being carefully recorded. Microscopic data points were being collected, analyzed, and processed faster than the aliens could possibly imagine. "They're establishing communication protocols," Yura whispered to Do-Sung. "Typical hierarchical approach. They expect complete submission." The alien commander continued its monologue, explaining the futility of human resistance. Its language, translated smoothly, filled with mathematical probabilities and cold, logical statements about planetary conquest. Do-Sung allowed himself a momentary smile. Humanity had survived countless challenges: world wars, environmental disasters, economic collapses, and now, an alien invasion that seemed completely one-sided. But appearances could be deceiving. The alien ship continued its approach, weapon systems humming with potential energy. Massive cannons pointed directly at Earth's primary defense platforms. Each second that passed increased the tension in the human command center. Yura's fingers moved almost imperceptibly, initiating a sequence that would become legendary in the coming hours. A plan so simple, so unexpected, that it would baffle military strategists across the galaxy for generations. "Prepare initial response," Do-Sung commanded, his voice calm and measured. The young communications specialist looked confused. Their arsenal seemed pathetically inadequate against the technological marvel hanging in space. What possible response could they prepare? Little did the aliens know that human ingenuity was about to be demonstrated in the most unexpected manner possible. As the alien vessel completed its positioning sequence, ready to deliver what it believed would be a swift, decisive blow to human civilization, something extraordinary was brewing. Not in massive weapon systems, not in complex technological defenses, but in the most mundane, unexpected way imaginable. The stage was set. Humanity's most bizarre defense mechanism was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same again. In a small, cluttered, laboratory tucked away in a remote research facility. Science Officer Yura Kim stood beside something that looked absurdly ordinary. It was a device that seemed more suited to a garage sale than an interstellar defense strategy. About the size of an old microwave oven with slightly rusted edges and a faded paint job, the machine looked like something a junkyard might reject. Commander Vrel, observing through advanced holographic communication, couldn't contain his contempt. The alien's multiple eyes blinked in rapid succession, a gesture that translated to profound disbelief and mockery. This is what humans consider a weapon? Vrel's translated voice dripped with condescension. The communication systems between Earth and the alien vessel carried his words with crystal clarity. Yura remained calm. Her fingers traced the device's external surface, touching what appeared to be random knobs and switches. To an untrained eye, it looked like a piece of outdated technology someone had forgotten to throw away. Jae-han Choi, the tactical analyst, standing nearby, allowed himself a small smile. He understood something the aliens did not. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to think differently, to see potential where others saw nothing. The device had no obvious weapon capabilities, no visible energy signatures, no complex mechanical parts that suggested advanced technology. It looked like something found in a grandmother's kitchen from decades past. But looks could be deceiving. Borum Kang began running preliminary tests. Complex computer systems analyzed every microscopic detail of the machine. Data streams flowed rapidly, creating intricate patterns of information that would have seemed incomprehensible to anyone but the most specialized scientists. "Prepare initial calibration," Yura said quietly, her voice steady and controlled. The alien observers continued to laugh. Their communication channels were filled with what could only be described as technological ridicule. They saw humans as a primitive species, barely capable of understanding their own planetary systems, let alone creating something capable of challenging an advanced interstellar civilization. What they didn't realize was that this seemingly ridiculous machine represented years of careful research, months of secret development, countless hours of testing and refining a concept so simple, yet so revolutionary, that it would change the understanding of technological warfare forever. Jae-han walked around the device, making slight adjustments. Each movement was calculated, precise. Nothing was random. Every single action had a specific purpose that the aliens could not comprehend. The machine's exterior was deliberately designed to look unimpressive. Scratched metal, outdated switches, components that looked like they had been salvaged from different sources. It was the perfect disguise for something extraordinary. "Preliminary systems online," Borum announced, her fingers dancing across multiple holographic displays. Commander Vrel's communication channel continued to broadcast their mockery. The alien civilization believed they were witnessing the final moments of human resistance, a pathetic attempt to defend against overwhelming technological superiority. But humanity had a way of surprising those who underestimated them. Yura's hand hovered over a simple red button. The button looked worn, almost antiquated. Nothing about it suggested the potential power it represented. It was a button that could have been found on any old piece of equipment, easily overlooked and dismissed. The laboratory was silent. The only sounds were the gentle hum of computer systems and the occasional beep of monitoring equipment. Outside, the alien warship continued its menacing approach, weapon systems primed and ready. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to. Jae-han gave a nearly imperceptible nod to Yura. A moment of understanding passed between them. Years of preparation, months of secret development, all leading to this single moment. The device that looked like nothing more than a discarded kitchen appliance sat quietly, holding the potential to change everything. Humanity's most unexpected weapon was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would soon learn that appearances could be monumentally deceiving. The moment stretched like an eternity. The device Yura Kim had prepared sat quietly, almost innocently, its external appearance completely unremarkable. Around you, the research facility hummed with a subtle tension that could be cut with a knife. Commander Vrel's communication channel continued broadcasting their confident mockery. The alien civilization believed they were witnessing the final moments of human resistance, a pathetic attempt to defend against overwhelming technological superiority. Do-Sung Park watched the holographic displays, his fingers resting lightly on the control panel. Every system was prepared, every possible scenario calculated and recalculated. The device began to vibrate, not with the aggressive roar of a weapon, not with the dramatic pulse of advanced technology, but with a soft, almost gentle hum that seemed more like a household appliance warming up than a defensive mechanism. Borum Kang's monitoring system started registering unusual readings. At first, they were so subtle that they could have been mistaken for background noise. Tiny electronic whispers that most systems would completely ignore. Then something extraordinary began to happen. The alien warship's advanced quantum computing network started experiencing microscopic disruptions. They were so small, so incremental, that the initial response was complete dismissal. Computer systems designed to handle complex interstellar navigation and weapon coordination began to flutter with tiny inconsistencies. One by one, communication relays started to malfunction. Not dramatically, not with explosions or visible damage, but with the kind of subtle electronic interference that slowly, methodically undermines complex technological systems. Navigation computers began showing fractional errors. A millisecond here, a quantum calculation variation there, nothing that would immediately signal a critical failure. Yura's fingers moved with precise calculation. Each movement was deliberate, each action part of a complex strategy that the aliens could not comprehend. The device continued its soft humming, looking for all the world like an old kitchen appliance that might need replacement. The alien weapon, systems, so advanced they could theoretically obliterate entire planetary systems, started experiencing unexplainable glitches. Targeting mechanisms began to drift. Quantum entanglement communication lines developed microscopic interruptions. Commander Vrel's communications suddenly became fragmented. Words disappeared mid-sentence. Complex language translation systems began generating nonsensical outputs. What is happening? The aliens' communication became choppy, uncertain. Jaehan Choi allowed himself a small smile. Humanity's weapon wasn't about destruction. It was about systematic, methodical disruption. The device, looking like something rescued from an old electronics recycling center, continued its gentle humming. No dramatic energy signatures, no massive explosions. Just a consistent, methodical electronic interference that was slowly, precisely dismantling the most advanced technological system in the galaxy. Alien ship systems began to fail. Not catastrophically, but with the kind of precision that suggested a deeply calculated attack. Navigation computers started showing random coordinate shifts. Weapon targeting systems became increasingly unreliable. What the aliens didn't understand was that humans had spent years studying technological vulnerabilities. They had created a weapon that didn't destroy, it confused. A device that didn't compete with alien technology but fundamentally questioned its very operational foundation. The warship's massive energy system started experiencing inexplicable power fluctuations. Critical communication networks began to fragment. Advanced quantum computers found themselves solving problems that didn't exist, wasting computational resources in endless, meaningless calculations. Do-Sung watched the holographic displays with calm concentration. Each failing alien system was another confirmation of their strategy. Humanity wasn't trying to match alien technological power. They were systematically undermining it. The device continued humming, soft, consistent, absolutely unremarkable, and yet, it was bringing the most advanced technological civilization humanity had ever encountered to its computational knees. Commander, Vrel's final transmission became a desperate, fragmented plea. What have you done? Yurakim's response was simple, calm, and devastating. We showed you the power of human creativity. News traveled faster than light across the galactic communication networks. The unexpected defeat of the most technologically advanced invasion force by a species considered primitive, spread like wildfire through alien civilizations. Borum Kang's tactical analysis became the most studied document in known space. Scientists, military strategists, and researchers from hundreds of planetary systems began dissecting every microscopic detail of humanity's unprecedented victory. The weapon, that simple, unassuming device, became a topic of absolute fascination and terror. On a distant research planet, a group of alien scientists gathered around holographic displays. Their multiple sensory organs pulsed with a mixture of fear and intense curiosity. What humans had accomplished defied every known principle of technological warfare. They used an electromagnetic disruption technology, one researcher explained, but not like anything we've ever seen before. The device wasn't just a weapon. It was a complete reimagining of technological conflict. Humans had discovered a way to attack complex systems not through direct destruction, but through systematic confusion. Diplomatic channels across the galaxy became filled with urgent communications. Some alien civilizations proposed immediate, diplomatic isolation of humans. Others suggested complete technological quarantine. A few more radical groups recommended total elimination of the human species before they could develop further strategies. But underneath the fear, there was something else: respect. Humans had shown that technological superiority wasn't about having the most advanced weapons. It was about understanding fundamental system vulnerabilities. They had transformed an ordinary device into a weapon of unprecedented complexity. Military academies across different planetary systems began restructuring their entire strategic approaches. The human method of warfare challenged everything they knew about conflict resolution. Jaehan Choi, who had been instrumental in developing the weapon, became an unexpected celebrity across scientific communities. His research papers were translated into thousands of alien languages, studied with intense scrutiny. The alien commander who had initially mocked humanity now became a symbol of technological hubris. His final fragmented transmission was replayed countless times, a moment that would be remembered as the turning point in interspecies understanding. Do-Sung Park gave no interviews, no dramatic speeches. His silence made him even more mysterious and intimidating to alien civilizations. Yura Kim continued her research, working quietly in her laboratory. She understood that this was just the beginning of a much larger transformation in how technological conflicts would be understood. Alien intelligence networks worked over time, trying to understand how a species they had considered technologically inferior could develop such a sophisticated disruption mechanism. They studied human history, human technological development, searching for clues. What they discovered both fascinated and terrified them. Humans had a history of solving problems through unexpected means. They were not bound by traditional technological thinking. They could look at a problem from angles that other civilizations would never consider. The weapon wasn't just a technological achievement, it was a statement, a declaration that humanity would not be underestimated. Planetary defense systems across the galaxy began implementing new protective protocols. But each modification only revealed how fundamentally different human thinking was from other technological civilizations. Some alien philosophers began arguing that humans represented a new form of evolutionary intelligence, not just a species, but a potential new model of technological adaptation. The device that looked like an old kitchen appliance became more famous than most advanced weapons in galactic history. Museums requested replicas. Research institutions demanded detailed schematics. Humanity had done something extraordinary. They had transformed an apparently simple technology into a weapon of unprecedented sophistication. The galaxy watched and learned. And somewhere, in a small research facility, Yura Kim allowed herself a small smile. The real revolution was just beginning. Humanity had announced its arrival on the galactic stage, not with massive weapons, not with complex technologies, but with something far more powerful. Earth stood transformed. The planet that was once considered a minor, insignificant civilization now became the most studied and feared species in the galaxy. Diplomatic channels from multiple planetary systems began requesting communication. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to understand. Others were simply terrified. Commander Vrel's defeated warship drifted helplessly in space, its advanced systems completely paralyzed by humanity's unexpected technological approach. The once mighty vessel now represented nothing more than a massive piece of space debris, a testament to human ingenuity. Dosung Park received communication requests from dozens of alien civilizations. Each transmission carried a mixture of respect, fear, and genuine curiosity. They wanted to understand how a species they had considered technologically primitive could create such a devastating defensive mechanism. Yura Kim continued her research, understanding that their victory was more than just a military achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of technological conflict. The device that looked like an old kitchen appliance became a symbol, not of destruction, but of unexpected potential. Alien research teams began studying human history with unprecedented intensity. They discovered a species that had consistently solved problems through creativity, adaptability, and thinking outside traditional technological frameworks. Jae-han Choi was invited to multiple interstellar conferences, not as a conquered species, representative, but as a strategic genius who had fundamentally changed understanding of technological warfare. Earth's governments suddenly found themselves in a unique position. They were no longer just another planetary civilization. They were a species that had proven their ability to challenge technologically superior opponents through pure intellectual creativity. Military strategists across the galaxy began redesigning their entire approach to potential conflicts. The human method of warfare had proven that technological superiority was not about having the most advanced weapons, but understanding fundamental system vulnerabilities. Boram Kang's tactical analysis became required reading in military academies across multiple planetary systems. Her detailed breakdown of how humans had systematically dismantled the most advanced invasion force became a blueprint for understanding adaptive conflict resolution. The victory was not just military, it was psychological. Humans had shown that innovation could be more powerful than raw technological capability. They had transformed an apparently simple device into a weapon of unprecedented sophistication. Alien civilizations began sending diplomatic missions. Some wanted trade agreements. Others wanted technological exchange programs. A few were simply attempting to understand how humans thought. The global response from Earth was measured. Calm, confident. No dramatic speeches. No aggressive posturing, just a quiet understanding that they had fundamentally changed galactic dynamics. Commander Vrel's final transmission became a historical document. His fragmented message of confusion and defeat was studied, analyzed, and discussed in academic circles across multiple planetary systems. Humans are not a species, the transmission concluded. They are a technological nightmare. Those words became more famous than most diplomatic declarations in galactic history. Earth's research facilities were suddenly receiving unprecedented funding. Scientific institutions from various planetary systems wanted collaborative research programs. They recognized that human creativity represented something entirely new in technological development. Dosung Park understood the larger implications. This was not just a victory. It was the beginning of a new era of interstellar understanding. The device that had started everything, that simple, unassuming machine that looked like an old kitchen appliance, became more famous than most advanced weapons in galactic history. Museums requested replicas. Research institutions demanded detailed schematics. Technological experts wanted to understand its intricate design. But the true power was not in the device itself. It was in the human approach to problem solving. The ability to see potential where others saw only limitations. Humanity had announced its arrival on the galactic stage. Not with massive weapons, not with complex technologies, but with something far more powerful. Pure, unexpected creativity. The galaxy would never be the same again. And in a small laboratory, Yura Kim continued her research, knowing that this was just the beginning of a much larger transformation in how technological conflicts would be understood.